What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Today I'm bringing you another solo to master video review or whatever, in which we get a 4,000 damage game in, solo queuing in a diamond lobby. So I'm really excited to show you guys my decision making that led up to this game. And keep in mind, farming high damage wasn't even the intention. It just worked out that way. And it's a really interesting and really fun game. So we dropped here in Lava City. There wasn't anyone, but for whatever reason, this team decided to contest us. I'm not hitting too many shots as I wanted there, but I'm still playing a little bit of damage. I'm playing Pathfinder on World's Edge because I wanted to play a little bit bigger. It's been working out for me lately. I'm trying to put some suppressive fire here, but it's very risky, so I queue back. Now I have a high ground here, and I can trade a little bit. I can shoot a little bit. Now, the 1x on the Scout is not a fun weapon to use or fun combo to use. And I assume they would kind of try to smoke me off here. So, a little bit of context that you guys missed because we, diving straight into the action so we can get some high quality footage for you guys to watch. Another team dropped a mod. So I know we can't have a full fight here because if we take a full fight, we're gonna end up in a pretty bad situation. So now I'm looking for something better than a Scout so we can just try to maybe deal with the team out there. Hopefully the other team from mod ends up third partying or something. We kind of aren't able to move, and we kind of pinned down to this particular side of Lava City because it's, again, teams surrounding us. So I'm just trying to poke and prod a bit. My teammates are doing the same, hoping to get an entry that will allow us to kind of turn the fight in our favor. Again, as you can probably guess, I was trying to estimate whether we could make a run up there, but because of how they're playing, we can't. Rafe does a great ping here, calling the station here. And I just jump on that. I immediately get in here. I try to get as much loot as I can. Since we only got a corner of the map, I'm not happy with these shots, by the way. That should be killed, whatever. Because we only have this tiny corner of a map, we don't have a lot of loot, so we need to get everything, anything that we can. It's starting to look like teams were fighting on lava there, but we just have to continue looting up, continue, getting more control. My teammates, however, had another idea, and they were actually making a move here. And I decided, okay, I'm gonna try to help out. Absolutely massive shot there. If that wasn't a headshot, I think it would have survived. That is my opening. I'm a Pathfinder, so I can play the off angle, I can play the flank, something we've covered before. My two teammates are on the bottom, and this guy's on the top. Now, I assumed this was one team, which was a bad read. It actually wasn't, but we'll get to that later. So I go up here, catch another guy with his pants down. Rafe comes up here looking for a play. Doesn't work out for her, and, I noticed that Pathfinder is downed on the high ground as well. But this is ended up being a perfectly timed third party here. I'm just dropping, trying to get the finish here. It's very risky because I'm a Pathfinder, but it's just good to, as we've covered in this series before, to just continue finishing targets, especially in very chaotic fights, because you never know when the third party comes in. You don't want them to get the full reset. So it's a random Pathfinder. I'm finishing that kill as well, especially because I ended up getting a white armor from the Wraith, and I don't feel comfortable about that. Anyway, Seer ends up finding the last Bangalore, and now this ended up being a perfect third party. I was going for a mental jump in which we've practiced, that we've practiced to do. Can't consistently do them, so I just ended up making a fool out of myself, and I brought it to your attention, because I feel like it, and maybe you will gain sympathy for me. Anyway, so as something else we've covered on this series is that Pathfinder shouldn't be running shotguns or close range weapons, which makes it a bit confusing when you want to run an R301, or rather you find a golden R301, which comes from the mod. If you guys don't know what that does, it makes you reload 15% faster than any other gun, or rather than the non-golden counterpart. And honestly, it's extremely good. But as far as a secondary goes, I had no idea what to pick because I have a wingman, and I believe an R301 and wingman more or less serve the same purpose. So I actually ended up picking a charge rifle up here, and I will spoil the surprise a little bit here. The charge rifle will play a bit of a part in the damage, but again, I wasn't really damage farming. There will be some pretty good plays. Obviously, this third party was some pretty good plays, so if you're not believing me already, I don't know what to tell you. You probably should. Anyways, we have a lot of loot here. We're chilling. I got a vault key, so I'm just going for the vault here. Unlikely there's going to be another team here. Obviously, there's always a risk, but you can't just go around assuming the worst, because then you'll never get anything done. So I'm going for the, also probably would have third party by now if it were there. Anyways, I'm just grabbing this, getting more golden. And, it's kind of funny to think about just how stacked up I got. I could have gone for a full gold here, full golden loadout with a golden R301, but I prefer to have a red or purple armor over golden personally, because, you know, you get a higher health pool, especially if you play a legend like Pathfinder, who is extremely squishy and takes a lot of damage when trading and fighting, which you don't want. Another thing I've also mentioned, which some of you guys might not know, when it comes to getting a lot of damage, I've always been a strong proponent to weapons such as the Spitfire previously, and now the R301, especially thanks to its now lower DPS in Season 16. You want these consistent, maybe a little bit on a lower rate of fire or rather damage per second weapons, because they're not as likely to, they're not as likely to give you a one clip. So you're gonna be able to put a lot of damage down in a short period of time. It's not gonna be enough to kill the enemy, and they'll be able to bat up or heal up or whatever. Again, that's not why I picked R301. I was like, oh, it's a golden R301. I keep running the Wingman during this series to spice it up a little bit. But if you genuinely want to farm damage, R301 and whatever secondary, I'd say the Charge Rifle or Sentinel, but you don't really need them, will help you a lot in getting the damage, just because of how the dynamics of the fights ends up being. Also, making good use of the Pathfinder zipline here again, or rather passive. I love it so much, just for the cheeky instant ultimate you can get from it. Depending on how close you are to the care packages, you can even chain many ziplines together, and that's just really fun to do. I haven't really done it too much in, I guess, in this grind in general, or like in pubs even, but it's fun to have the opportunity, and when it works out, it just looks crazy, because you can clear up to 600 meters. If you already have ultimate, and ultimate, you zipline to a care package, and then you zipline after hitting the next one with your passive, so that's pretty cool. I know zone is going to pull towards us, which is also why I'm not too inclined on rotating. In this series, I try not to play zone too hard, but we do try to play it a lot. So anyways, my teammates end up getting caught out here by the other team. They might have noticed that they're a duo or whatever, so they're looking for a fight. I immediately go for the off angle. Again, when I play Pathfinder, I try to play off angles, use my verticality, like constantly be in a position where I can deal damage, but they're not gonna shoot back at me because they're looking the other way. And as such, I jumped here. A little bit of opening damage on Watson. Nothing huge, a little bit of a poke on. I've used the R9 too much, and my recoil control is really bad here. It evens out later in the video, so don't worry about it. But I'm not too proud of it right here, as we have a little bit of an adjustment phase. So again, this is me trying to play the angle. It's a 1v1. Immediately queue up, because I know that they know I'm in this angle. I'm going to queue up, get a quick sell off, and then switch up the angle when I believe the timing is right. When I see my teammates are shooting at them, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is it. Let's go. So there we go. Recoil control a little bit better. Queue up again, get the reset. At any time, they can just come up here and like try to push me, but it's unlikely that they'll make this climb. However, this Loba went for it because it's a Loba player, and those are like the wild cards, honestly. Anyways, she was just going, I don't know what she was doing, but I saw an opening and I went for it, ended up getting the kill. I went for the finisher because I saw that the last member of their team, I think it was a Wraith, ran away that way, so she's not gonna shoot me. I have a red armor this early in the game, might as well charge it up without using a battery. I'm not gonna get a hot swap to red armor before zone 2 has closed, so at that point you can save yourself the battery. Anyways, I'm taking a high gun here, especially because I have R301 with a 2x, I have a charge rifle, I can look around, and if someone happens to be running up, I can put damage down, maybe even get a knock, but mostly just be a nuisance. There's no real reason for me to do it, other than being a douche, honestly. Just be that guy, that really annoying guy. But it's around this point that I noticed that, oh wait, there's a Loba ultimate there. And I have no idea when they got there or anything, because there wasn't like a sound, there wasn't like a visual indicator. I don't even think I saw it now, maybe I missed it. Maybe I looked away. Both in game and in the, when doing the review, what do I know? But this, as I mentioned, I think I actually do mention it in the video, or rather in the VOD itself. Teams who play in this way, they kind of make it very clear that they are unlikely to do anything. So they probably scan the zone, they're like, okay, it's gonna pull Siphon, and we have a Loba, and they just walk up and they put their ult down and they're chilling. This can be, you can assume that because also, Loba has a charge rifle, and they seem very, very passive and like unwilling to actually play the game. Which is an opening for me to be a douche about it. Like, I just feel like shooting them. I want to entertain my stream, got nothing else to do. Might as well. I'm putting an extra zipline down here, or wherever I was, you know, considering it, because I got it off cooldown, but actually don't have anything to do with it. Now I'm looking for like a Giga Brain for a Might here. I don't think it actually ended up hitting her. But that was a big stretch. Anyways, I don't know if this was the same team or not. We'll see very soon. But my teammates end up spotting someone in the open. Okay, actually, I remember what happened. I'm not going to spoil it. But they end up spotting someone in the open here. I'm going to use the charge rifle to my... It even calls a solo here, my teammate. Just using the charge rifle to the best of my abilities. I prefer the Sentinel, honestly, still. I don't care that it's consistent with the charge rifle. I just don't like it. Anyways, I end up dropping down here. We get the Finn, or rather the kill on her. Eventually. Perfectly. You know, perfect. Oh, well, not really perfectly. Anyways, so I zipline up immediately because I know that the Loba team is there, and I know that if my initial perception of them is incorrect and they're actually going to play the game, they would third party there. Turns out I was right with my initial read, and they just kept sitting there. Also, on this screen, they just made a zipline. I didn't see this when I was playing because I was looking at something else. But, yeah, they literally just made a zipline to the balloon here. That I guess they assumed... I guess I ended up taking it, and they just didn't see it. Either way, we're chilling here. I'm just putting damage down. Having a grand old time. It's so fun. I love Apex Legends. It's a shooter, not a looter Loba. So we're just chilling here on the high ground, having a good old time. I don't think the Loba team is having a good old time. I'm pretty sure that the Valkyrie at one point was just tabbed down on TikTok or something. But, yeah, I'm just taking this moment to look around for some loot, get some more ammo, maybe some more meds. Make sure we have stuff for the things to come. Nades are good to have, supply run cover, and yeah. Anyways, I decided to make a zipline and take the high ground here because it's good to have. I can take it, my teammates can take it. I'm looking towards the team on the left. I'm looking towards where the charge rifle came from, the same Pathfinder from before that I big dicked. Not my best shots here, and actually ends up getting out of this alive, but certainly an opening for a knock there. That being said, with how small of a zone is zone 4 to 6 teams, there are 6 teams alive, and I don't really know where they are. I've noticed this a lot, especially in Diamond. Like teams are just really passive, and you just don't know what they're doing half the time. It seems like they're mostly ratting, honestly. Anyways, because of that, you have to think twice about taking a fight at this point. And seeing as we have a lot of space, and that's something and this is also something that I've covered in a previous video. I thought it would end like here somewhere. I just didn't know the ending, honestly. But I thought it would end like somehow where we're in favor, which means that this team in the tunnel, that the Loba team, are going to be an issue later on. We need to dispose of them as soon as possible. Now they also end up not having like too much zone to play with later, but you know, I'm getting ahead of myself. Either way, I'm just putting damage down here now. You know, they don't have an ultimate up, they don't have a Watts, and it's good to try and trade back and make sure that they don't have an opening. You want to deplete them of the resources as much as you can. Obviously, it does come at a bit of a cost, so don't risk all of your loot just to deal with one team out of 6, but you do have to make sure that they don't get a leg to stand on. Anyways, speaking of a leg to stand on, I'm getting it back up on the high ground here because I wanted to get a little better angle on them. Not really getting the beams I was hoping for with the charge rifle. My teammates, I think they disposed of a rat vantage. Yep, that's what they do. And I'm just kind of watching over them, making sure that the tunnel team, the Loba team doesn't run out. I'm thinking maybe they're going out or have walked out to the left side again or something. Then I spot the little Loba ultimate there. Little cheeky Loba ultimate. Going straight down. No Loba ult for you. No extra loot for you. You're screwed. And you can really see the value of this position. Obviously, I'm taking some damage for it. But it is pretty damn valuable. Also, I realized at about this point that I hadn't been looking at the bridge, and it could be a team on bridge. So if they would have walked up on me here, we would have just straight up died. And they just ended up taking an off angle. They actually didn't end up pushing it. If they did, we would have had to do a lot. But at the same time, one team, and maybe this was the bridge team, does end up taking the high ground here, which my teammates, I think they like shot at him or something, so I saw it. And I'm going for instant nade here with the frag. Decent damage, and then a thermite follow-up, just to kind of ruin their space here. I can't follow up because they're all looking at me, and one of them ends up getting knocked, which means that, okay, that's a great opening. And I'm literally just going for the Finn here. I don't care about taking too much damage or anything. I mean, there's a team from left, there's a team from high ground looking straight at me. But we have to get the Finn there so they can't get the revive, because again, the team on the left was the biggest threat, and now we have a team on top of the high ground that I was playing, which is an even bigger threat. So I'm end up, you know, going up to Q here, maybe challenge someone if they do take the high ground, and just grab some loot for myself. Ends up working out just fine. They're trying to do the same thing that I did to them with the grenades, and it's not working. And turns out that they're stuck ratting. This guy's going for some scary bow shots, and I can't commit to that because of that. So this, around this point, we're still on a 2.6k damage and top 4. And when you're in this situation, I think we're in the worst position out of all the teams. Again, there's a team in the choke, there's a team here, and there's a team... I guess, no, I don't know what happened to the tunnel team, but I think there was a team here as well. So we'll simply see what happens next. But it is not a good spot to be in, and you're gonna have to make some good macro-oriented decisions here to make sure that you have a position leading into the late game. And it's going to be rough, because there's not a lot of cover, it's basically open ground. Oh yeah, the cave team is still here, actually looking for a bit of an off angle. Also, excuse my verbal diarrhea, it is 1 AM, I am extremely tired, but I wanted to get this video out for you guys, so, you know, cut me some slack. Anyways. These guys on the left are almost foolishly looking for a fight with us, and it's not really like that good of a fight for them, but they are forcing it. And I'm just playing, again, playing the off angle, playing a little bit farther back, ready to bait my teammates, support them if they end up getting peeked. I actually end up peeking a little bit myself, because he has a scan there, putting a little bit of damage down, nothing to write home about. Might write a little bit of a letter for that one. I just thought someone was in the flame there wasn't. Was worth a shot. Wraith ends up going down. I have a golden knockdown, so I'm just sticking it. Good heat shield there from Seer. It would speed up the thing. And actually ended up tanking the zone for some reason. Probably because it's not zone 6 yet, but it will close after zone 6. That being said, Loba made a big oopsie. I don't know why she went for the, jump in there. Kind of a big mistake from her. Anyways. Soldiering on ahead, we drop down to the only cover we have, which is absolutely horrible, because if the timing is wrong, if we're in the wrong circumstance, this team has more or less a really good angle on us. There's a team here as well, which is a Loba's team, but the Loba died, so they're getting focused because they dropped first, so there's not much they can do. I end up trading damage, and I think this actually ended up being one of the larger openings in this game, because that damage ended up with him getting killed, and now we're in a top 3 situation. We have a team on the right, we have a team on the left, and the zone closes. I'll try to show you guys on basically like around here. And around this time, I realized that I have been, also I didn't reload, which is kind of, like, we've been running out of heals. We've been shooting a lot, and like ammo will start to bleed really fast as well. Because that's another thing I notice a lot in Diamond is, like again, I mentioned this about Platinum, but it appears to happen a lot in Diamond for some reason as well. Again, people are very passive, people, play extremely careful. And they will just sit in a corner as long as they can if it means they'll get better placement. Like, they won't make an opportunity for themselves. I should have been able to kill this guy here, but I honestly didn't really see him that well. A little bit like the guy on the left is a big shame, because it ended up being 1 HP, and if I had a nade or anything, that would have been massive. Anyways, I'm just trying to put down as much damage as I can. I tried to... So my plan in this, because we're one of the first teams to have to move, I think we have a bit of a head glitch, one zone closes a lot. But we're basically going to be forced by the zone to fight this team here. There's not much of an option here. My teammates play a bit of an off angle on the left, but we're going to have to walk in. There's not much we can do. So what I end up doing here is just try to put as much damage down as I can, hopefully deplete the enemy team of the resources, maybe get a knock, maybe force the 2 teams. Because if you're in this situation, you have to run forward, and you have to decide, which team to run straight into. You're going to run into the team that shoots you the least. You're gonna run into the team. This is just primal thinking, right? If going to the left means like almost guaranteed death because you're taking so much damage, going to the right doesn't seem that bad now, does it? So that's something I generally try to do a lot. It does open up a little bit of risk because, they can shoot back. But it's a little bit of psychology, I guess, to a certain degree. You have to just kind of screw with their primal brains a little bit, understand how they will act in high-stakes situations, you know? Anyways, so knowing how to act in high-stakes situations means I run out of ammo, and they literally did what I said they would. Also, I guess it doesn't make sense to run straight into me, because they can see it there, but I digress. So they actually end up charging straight ahead into the choke team, and I ended up having wasted all my light ammo, so now I have to use a charge rifle in the endgame, which is really awkward. One guy goes down. This guy's called AFK to last zone challenge, and I don't know if that's a legit thing or if he's just a like average diamond at this point. Everyone is so passive here. I'm just trying to put down as much damage as I can with the charge rifle. The team on the right ends up just straight up dying, and the fact I have this off angle is absolutely massive because my teammates take a lot of damage, and I do trade with the enemy Pathfinder in return. And thanks to my angle, like I probably would have ended up killing him anyways, but thanks to my angle, I managed to screw with him quite a lot. Anyways, there's a Bangalore ult on my feet, and I'm cracked and I took a lot of damage, and I didn't feel like I could pop a battery here, so I just went for a play. I'm just trying to like explain my decision making here because this did not work out how I wanted it to, because when going for this play, the Bangalore ult actually made me fly quite a lot farther than I had expected, which ended with me landing right in front of this guy. Like, I already knew it was there, but I was gonna like grapple to this and then swap it, and maybe he won't have LOS and I can actually get the swap off. Instead, I just ended up being a completely free kill. Now it's a 1v2 situation. Wraith goes down. It's Seer versus Caustic, and this guy has 1 health, which means that if Caustic ults, pops a barrel, or the zone closes, it is closing, that means that, you know, Seer's gonna go down. Now, thankfully, he whiffs his massive shots, probably because he's a Caustic player. No offense at all. And he actually ended up doing 0 damage, and the series kills him. With a beautiful microphone to boot. And that is the story of how I got 4,000 damage in Apex Legends solo queue diamond ranked. Which isn't the first time. I've actually got a 20 bomb one time. That video didn't do very well, but we did get a 20 bomb in this rank solo queuing at one point as well. But this is just, you know, 4k damage. I know it's 5 kills, but it's diamond rank. Cut me some slack. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Of course, subscribe or follow or whatever. And I will see you all tomorrow. Peace out.